I'm going to guess this was possibly on your list, but let's just do it. Get it out of the way. I might be stealing one of yours. I don't care. This is one featuring Captain Kirk taking a tour of the refit Enterprise as he
Yeah.
gazes with lust after his baby that he's not been able to captain for at least 2 years because he's now Admiral Kirk. Okay, Robert Wise directing this. I don't know how much it's him. Obviously, him working with the actor, but like just
Right.
the direction going over the ship, intercutting with Shatner's directions,
Yeah.
reactions, I should say, just fantastic.
It's tough to say how much is the effects department,
Right.
and how much is Robert Wise. But it's tough to pick the ultimate iconic Enterprise moments because so many of them are just amazing shots of the ship. The ship looks beautiful, right? And a lot of the time when I think of iconic Enterprise moments, it's actually from the opening credits.
Right. Okay.
But to me,
Yeah,
this
you mean like when the champagne bottle floats through and hits the Enterprise B
like, oh, there
in
you
Generations?
go. Stop stealing ones from my list. But this moment, I think, is probably the most iconic in any of the films, at least for the Enterprise. I think, in my opinion,
Yeah, because and I think the key here though is
is how long it is.
wow. Okay, yeah, it's what about 6 minutes?
Yeah,
which is
pretty much.
pretty long for a sequence in a film.
Is this the equivalent of like Walt Disney's Fantasia for Star Trek? Because Fantasia, of course, has like those 15-minute long
yeah.
animated sections about the dinosaurs and evolution.
I don't think there's any other contender though. Really?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got it there.
So Fantasia and Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Okay, I buy that, but I think that the key here though is that we have the reaction shots from Kirk, and that's why this is such a memorable ship sequence as well. And also, Cam, you've noted before, but the subtext when the shuttle pod docks with the Enterprise, it's obviously kind of referring to like the act of copulation at that point, and
Right.
Kirk is in love with his ship. That's really what it's telling you there.
Shatner sells this because a lot of the time, I think people's biggest complaint about the motion picture is that the technology overwhelms the human side of the storytelling. But at least in this sequence, and I love the whole movie, but at least in this sequence, you have Shatner's reactions to what is going on during this extended moment, and you are sucked into it by the emotion on his face.
I know people like to, I don't know, do impressions of Shatner, but he's a legit good actor, and I think you and I we probably appreciated his performance. I think we both agreed maybe Star Trek 3: The Search for Spock was maybe his best performance.
I think maybe I might go with part two.
Part two, okay. Still part two, part three, both up there in the pantheon of Shatner performance, but I totally buy every single reaction he gives. Like, you really do believe that this guy is looking at the love of his life and is just blown away. This sequence, I think the word that sums it up for me, though, is majestic.
Yeah.
I love it. It's cinematic in a way we don't really associate with Star Trek. Star Trek very much, and it rightfully so, best when it's on TV. That doesn't lend itself to these extended, like, orgy sequences of visual feasts, that we get. And this was just so fantastically well done. And I can't say enough about how much I love a visual feast like this when it comes to Star Trek, because there's so few and far between.
Right. Well, the motion picture is sort of an outlier of what that movie franchise could have been had audiences responded more favorably.
Longer antechamber sequences,
Well,
V'ger.
we could have had these multiple films that are sort of these visual feasts that are very ponderous and contemplative, but we went the Wrath of Khan route, and we benefited at least for that film.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I have to agree. I mean, this moment is just—it's one of the few moments I think in the series that really captures not only how much the characters love the Enterprise, but also you're kind of seeing it through the fans' eyes too. Like, the look on Kirk's face must have been very much how a lot of the audience felt seeing that movie in 1979 after not having seen the live-action Enterprise, on TV in a long time.
But even give credit to Jimmy Doohan, who's reacting as well.
Yeah, I love how he's just looking over at Kirk. Like, he knows what this means to Kirk.
And he's got a smile on his face that you just got to appreciate.
Yeah. Can you think of two other more perfect characters to have in that sequence? There's no one else.
No. Because you wouldn't buy it from Spock. Spock would just be blank-faced staring at it.
And McCoy would have been miserable.
Yeah. in his disco suit.
Yeah.